Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So for today's Quran exploration, we're going to be going over Surah Al-Humazah. I'll be reciting the surah, and then I'll be reading the literal translation of the surah, and then we'll go into its implication on our lives, inshallah. So, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ويل لكل همزة لمزة الذي جمع مالا وعدده يحسب أن ماله أخلده كلا لينبذن في الحطمة وما أدراك ما الحطمة نار الله الموقدة التي تطلع على الأفئدة إنها عليهم مؤصدة في عمد ممددة صدق الله العظيم. So the literal translation goes as following. Woe to every taunting, slandering backbiter who amasses wealth and keeps counting it again and again, thinking that his wealth will make him immortal. By no means, he will indeed be flung into the crushing one. Would that you know what the crushing one is. It is God's own kindled fire, which will rise over people's hearts. It will close in upon them in towering columns. So the whole point of the whole main idea of the surah is talking about what? It's talking about the different wealth. It's talking about the different, the greed of the human being. It's talking about the desires of the human being. And it's talking about the people that let all these three desires, wealth, greed, and anything else in this world, take them away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make them forget about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the punishment awaiting for them. So the first couple ayat says what? Woe to every taunting, slandering backbiter who amasses wealth and keeps counting it again and again, thinking that his wealth will make him immortal. So this is giving a description of a person who constantly taunts, is a backbiter, and he keeps on amassing wealth. And wealth here doesn't mean literally money. It could be anything. Any human desire may be. In thinking that his wealth, whether it be money, power, status, or anything that makes him feel as if he holds some sort of power, some sort of rank in this world, it makes him feel as if he will be immortal, that he won't be held accountable for what he's doing. And you got to think about this. This surah was given obviously during the time of Mecca, in which the people that were the ones against the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the reason why they weren't accepting Islam, even though they knew the Qur'an was from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they understood the words. They knew that it was the truth. And we talked about this idea before. They knew it was the truth, but what took them away from it? It wasn't that they didn't understand Arabic. They understood Arabic better than anyone here. They understood the words. They knew that these words that were being said in the Qur'an couldn't be replicated by any other human being. They knew it. And they knew what was being said the truth. So what stopped them? Is that they knew that if they took Islam as a way of life, the status that they once held, the wealth that they had, the power that they held, would all have to go away, because it wasn't according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. It was done through taunting. It was done through backbiting. It was done through cheating on the scales. It was done through a lot of immoral and incorrect methods to amass their wealth. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the things that at the end of the day, they still didn't accept Islam, because they didn't want their status to go down. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is targeting those people, and then any other people in the future that come out like them. We're serving also for us as a warning. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that these people will feel as if their wealth, their status, their power will make them feel as if they are immortal, that they won't be held accountable in the day of judgment. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, continuing on in the surah, He says what? By no means, he will indeed be flung into the crushing one. He says, don't even think for a second that there's not a punishment awaiting for those who do these kind of actions, who think like this. He says, he will indeed be flung into the crushing one. And then the next ayah, he says, with that you know what the crushing one is. So do you know what the crushing one is? And then he goes in and he explains what the crushing one is. It's Allah's own kindled fire, Jahannam, hellfire, which will rise over people's hearts and will close in upon them in towering columns. So he's describing the punishment that awaits the person that takes his greed, that takes his power and thinks that it's over what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do. It will keep him safe. It will keep him immortal. And he tells them, no, indeed, they will be in Jahannam. And they will face a punishment unlike no other. They will be held accountable. So don't let that lead you astray. It's a warning for the people in Mecca during that time that were thinking like this, but also a warning for us. I mean, part of the whole thing why we're going to college is because we want to amass wealth. We want to get a good job in which we can get as much wealth as we can. So we don't have to live off poor. We can at least, be independent, pay ourselves, get a family, and all these kind of things. And unfortunately, sometimes a lot of people, especially in the society that we are right now, they constantly chase after the wealth. But can I get more money, more money, more money, more money? Not to say that money isn't essential for you to live. It is that if the money becomes the goal in your life, and you think that if I keep getting more money, that this will keep me safe, that this will make me better in the hereafter. No, that's not the thought process we should have. You amass wealth, yes, but not in the sake of abandoning what Islam asks of you. Your salawat, your zakat, the 5 pillars of Islam, keeping sure that your family is doing everything according to Islam, keeping your close friends safe, telling people about what Islam is, da'wah, and all these kind of things. You don't let this money distract you. No one says you can't work. You actually have to work. You can't just say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give me wealth, and keep sitting down and do nothing. That's not how it works. You have to put an effort to get wealth and make sure that you're in a situation where you could help Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do what He wants, but don't put your situation where you're only focused on that. It's a reminder for us specifically that we want to make sure that we don't let our greed, we don't let our wealth, we don't let anything else push us away from the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone here knows at least one or a couple of people that their focus is always on how much money can I make, or how can I get more qualifications, or how can I get more power, or how can I get more status, and how can their focus is always on this one. How can I get better? The thing is that perspective will lead you to a tunnel. There's a never-ending tunnel. You're going to keep wanting more and more and more. And at the end of the day, you're going to forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's the one that gave you this wealth. He's the one that gave you this ability to even go pursue this status or this power. And remember, that's why last week when we went to Surah Al-Fil, when we talked about the Kaaba, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells them what? That don't you remember when I saved the Kaaba for you guys? I saved it. And that's the reason why you very people, the ones that are in charge of Mecca, that's the reason why you're wealthy. That's the reason why you guys hold such a high status in the Arabian Peninsula. Is because the Kaaba is still there and we kept it safe and we made it a place of trade for you. We made it a place for you to garner wealth and hold a higher status. So just remember who's the one that gave you this wealth and use it for His sake. And the very last point is that this shouldn't be just a simple message we just hear. We think, oh, mashallah, he's talking. Because every other person, even if you're not a Muslim, you'll hear about the idea, don't let wealth take over your mind. Don't be greedy. Don't be this. Don't be that. Don't be a lot of morals. And we always hear this, oh, this is good. This is beneficial. Thank you. And then you just carry around in your life. Now take this is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us a warning. It's saying you can continue as you are. You can continue thinking that this will keep you safe from the punishment in the hereafter. But remember, I will deliver. He will deliver that punishment at the end of the day, whether you like it or whether you don't. So now it's your choice. Whether you want to take heed of the warning he's giving you, he's warning us that this will happen. So now we have the choice of to choose whether we want to or we don't want to. And he's telling you, make that right decision. Because at the end of the day, what's guaranteed is that there will be a punishment in the hereafter, and there also will be what? There will also be a reward in the hereafter. So keep that in your mind. Keep that in your mind and say, those are guaranteed. One guarantee, you'll die. Second guarantee, there will either be a Jannah, heaven, or there will be Jahannam, hell. Two guarantees that we know. So now it's up to you. I told you about what's going to be happening in the hereafter. I reminded you. I'm warning you. I literally gave you the cheat sheet. The Qur'an and the Sunnah, I gave you the cheat sheet for this life. If you follow it, you will attain heaven. Now it's just the only choice left to us is what? Is to choose the right path. Is to choose the right path. That's the only choice we have to make. He's given everything to us. He's told us what's going to happen. And now it's up to us to choose. And that's why hearing these powerful reminders, one, helps us boost our iman, our belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And two, it serves as a reminder. It's a reality check. Am I thinking like this? Am I acting like this? Maybe I should fix something that I'm doing here every day in my life. Because obviously no human being is perfect. So these reminders, any reminder, is helpful for us to, get a right vision, get back on that straight line to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. And that is the end of the Qur'an conversation today. Are there any questions?
My question is, so the surah, it talks about, amassing wealth in like a greedy manner. Suppose I'm someone who has amassed wealth through like haram means, like gambling or riba, whatever. But then I use that wealth to for like quote unquote for the sake of Allah, charity, for and giving to community and whatnot. Is this something that that's allowed and like that's making me gain hasanat, or is it still a simple action where like I'm amassing wealth in a haram manner but using it, for a good cause?
Yeah, that makes sense. So the answer is no, that's not allowed as well. So even the wealth that we amass has to be according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. And now, even if we get this wealth and it's not according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants, it doesn't make your money halal and good in the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for you to go out and use it for the sake of maybe building a masjid or charity or donations or whatever it may be. It doesn't make the method in which you use the money halal. So just a word of advice is that if you see that you are involved in something that might be haram money, or you're getting money in a haram way, stay away from it, try to get out of it as soon as possible. But don't think that, let me focus, this is a really easy way of making money. But it's not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes. Let me make it, and then I'll make that money halal by giving a certain portion to a charity or to a masjid or for zakah or whatever it may be, and this will make my money halal, Allah will forgive me. That's not how it works. There's no way to, let's say, cheat your sayyat. You did them. The only way for you to get forgiven for them is if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills for it and you do it sincerely. Not to say, okay, let me just make this certain donation to, because basically the thought process going on is let me make a certain donation to Allah, and then He'll let me in somewhere. And that doesn't really work. It doesn't really work like that. Any other questions? Okay, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.